Why, hello there, my fellow metallurgists. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Frostlands, Episode 6, First Set of Metal Tools. Well, in the scheme of things, finding borax can be way more of a pain than finding copper. So the fact that I found borax... here we go. That's got to be enough. The fact that I found borax puts my mind at ease, because not getting leather... Yep, exactly 40. Not getting leather would be far more difficult to deal with than just, like, not getting copper. Right? Like, you'll get copper eventually. You can definitely be on world seeds where, like, borax or lime or marble is just so rare, it drives you mad. I've been there, and it's brutal. So there's some resources pretty low in the process chain, like borax, for instance, where not having access to it can really kill your progress, like truly kill it. So yeah, we're all set, and I'm gonna start going home. Smelt this into a pick and hammer. That was quartz. Sure, I'll mark it down. Thought it was borax. Now just 5 cassiterite. I don't think my first pick and hammer will be bronze. That would be nice. But finding surface tin is too tall of an order. Be awesome, but unlikely. Yeah, I've been on a boraxless one, and like, just pro-picking for what seemed to be years, and never finding even a hint of borax. And even if you find, like, some borax density, doesn't mean you're gonna find it easily, right? The other thing is, like, borax also sometimes tends to spawn, like, kind of under lakes, which means you're never gonna pro-pick it, because the prospector pick requires you to pick out stone. So if there's I guess they're water deer? If the okay, I'll just make sure I know where I am. So if the borax is forming in the middle of a lake, there's like nothing to pro pick. So that's a real curse. The in practicing for this stream, the seed I had was amazing. Or like I found buckets of copper, and I had naturally occurring white marble and limestone around me. Oh boy, that could have been real bad. My torches were stacked. I'm glad they didn't go out. So I was in a situation where, like, I had all of those treasure resources immediately. That said, I have spotted, what was it, silver? So we have meteoric iron and silver already known. I don't know how big the silver vein is. It's possible it's a bit of a bust, where I touch it and it disappears. But the fact that I've even found silver nuggets is unusual. Silver tends to form in quartz, though, so it's not that unusual, because you'll find silver nuggets in quartz veins. I was hoping to try to trek a path back home, slightly deviating from my path back out, in order to spot something new. But that hasn't really been the case. I've not spot anything, really. I need to... Unless I want to swim, I need to start going south. Adamoy tree. Yeah, silver's often hidden in like piles of quartz strewn about. Oh, so that was a case where I went a little bit too deep into the water and torch went poof. In fact, I'm probably going to intentionally quench my torch here, so I'm going to put it away because I don't want to go all the way around. I'll just swim. It's probably not doing... actually, I'm not that cold yet. This map does seem to lack bears, true. I have had some run-ins with wolves, but not a whole lot of bears. And at 48 degrees north, you can definitely get a lot of grizzlies and black bears. It's too far north, or it's too far south for polars, which is fortunate because polar bears are like way the hell scarier than all the other bears. Polar bears in the game are like, honestly, truly a nightmare. I would rather run into almost every other type of enemy than polar bears. Because polar bears can climb unbelievably well. And they have massive hit point pools. And they attack for so much damage. They're horrible to run into. Yeah. And normal bears are scary enough, true. Normal bears are good for a heart attack. Polar bears are just, you might as well just put up the gravestone. Unless you're in like full late game armor. Or have like a super good nerd pole ready or something. I don't know. You definitely can't casually walk into a polar bear and expect to live. In Vintage Story. Hell, in real life too. Getting pretty close to home. One thing that I've been... And I haven't been in thick forests, but one thing I've been listening for to no avail is bees. Because you can hear the buzzing. I would love to get a hive started. No luck. Let's check up on the farm. I bet it's all still stage 1. But worth taking a look anyway. Yep, it's all stage 1. So one of the reasons why I collected turnips is turnips are pretty cold hardy and they grow fast. So they can go stage 2 or go stage 5 to be matured quicker than most. I am hungry. I packed like exactly the correct amount of food. Where I just entered starving just now. Okay, current priority. Make a copper pick and hammer. Crucible in. Let me go get a little peat. So one of the tricks to use less coal is to heat up your to heat up your copper with peat first, so that most of the heat that your ingots require is preheated with peat. Because peat will burn up to 900. And then once it's at 900, you get up to 1100 with, like, coals. So this will form 200 units of copper when I'm done, which will turn into a hammer and a pickaxe. I already have the sticks. My other kilns are still going. No forest fire. And I'll just store my peat. I'll store both my fuels. Maybe not by the door, because of bottlenecks. I'll store over here. But it'd be good to just amass a whole lot of peat, because I can cook with it. I can preheat things with it. So once this hits 900 Celsius, the crucible, I'll switch the peat out, switch in lignite, and finish it off with lignite. Or brown coal, whatever you want to call it. So putting some brown coal in there. So the flames will burn down, which is the heat added from the last thing that burned. So the peat got it up to 895 or 897, and now a brown coal just burned, and it can go up to 1100. And once it exceeds 1084, it will start to smelt into a liquid. And you need your tongs ready, because God knows you cannot hold a crucible barehanded. Well, you can try, but you will drop it for no doubt. And then once I have the pickaxe and the hammer, the closest copper is not close at all. Good lord. Oh, there's some over in the water east of me. Oh, here we go. 1084. Now it's smelting. Now it's melting down into a liquid. I'm doing my happy dance now. Running around my ruins, celebrating. Hype! I'm gonna have metal tools. So then once it starts melting, you'll see a little green arrow moving left to right. And once it's fully to the right, it turns into liquid in the crucible. And by preheating with the peat, I just use less coal. And coal is way harder to obtain than peat. Especially when I live in a peat bog. I'm just grabbing a little bit more peat for later. I should reset my torches, though. Once I'm done smelting. Okay, there we go. Put the tongs in the offhand. Put the crucible in the main hand. And right-click hold. Pour into the molds. Done. Well, while things are hot, let's cook. 2 flax grain and 2 turnips. Or actually, I should do berries. What's spoiling first? We'll do 2 red currants. So, flax and red currant porridge. And let's grab that lignite out of there. Oops, out. And replace it with peat. Thank you for the bits for the first metal tools. I appreciate it. Appreciate the hype. I should probably move my... Oh, there we go. I should probably move my my kit pot like right here in the center. It'd be easier to interact with, or my fireplace rather. I'll do that at some point. Do that now. Corner is like the least convenient, I think. So having peat and the storage vessel right next to it, that'll be nice. I guess if I'm about to light it on fire, I might as well have another meal prepped. Turnip stew? Yeah, we'll do turnip stew. We'll do like a real hearty turnip stew. Oh, I had 4 more? Okay, hold on. I did this math wrong. There we go. 5 servings of hefty turnip stew. Still hardening. I did just break my shovel. And then I had mentioned wanting to refresh the torches that are in the farm. The torches in the farm aren't strictly necessary. What they do is they stop drifters or other things from spawning in here. But drifters or other things wouldn't, like, actually harm the crops. It would just be annoying. So it's totally unnecessary to refresh. I'm just doing it anyway. And then I'm refreshing the torches in here too. I'll keep one over the door on either side. Still soft. Oop. All right, good food. So that's a lot of hearty vegetables. I'll stick that in here for now to keep it. Okay, still soft. I was hoping to get copper tools and to like head out to look for copper. I am sure there's a lot more copper around me. So the frequency of finding random copper is about this. It's about the same where you find it like every 50 to 100 paces or so. It's just harder to spot outside of the gravel fields. But once I get more copper, I can pour ingots, I can pour an anvil, and the anvil and the ingots can be turned into a saw and a prospecting pick. And the prospecting pick will allow me to find other things other than copper, and the saw will allow me to make a door, make barrels for leather. You know, it allows me to enter the 19th century or something like that. Because leather can become armor or a bow or backpacks, and then or just a lot of things. I mean, the amount of stuff that you make out of leather is immense. There is a new type of leather, which is sturdy leather for even better backpacks, but that requires me to have chromium first. So yeah, you can see the stuff that you can make of leather. Armors and weapons and yeah, just quite a lot. And then the saw allows for planks. Or boards, rather. So boards allow you to make steps, furniture, boxes, crates, barrels, mechanisms, fences, paths, furniture, signs, etc. Just quite a lot. Hey, hardened copper! Alright, here we are! We did it! We now have a pick and a hammer. So the hammer can stay here. The hammer is so that I can break copper that I quarry up. But the pick is coming with me. The smart play would be wait for morning. The dumb play would be go out now. I'm dumb, I think, as we established. So let's go here, which is the closest copper that I know of. And try to avoid getting murdered in the forest by hobos. It is 1 in the morning, so it'll be daybreaking soonish. Drop the other items off. I don't have room in storage vessels to drop anything else off. I don't have anywhere to put it. Oh, flying RJ. Ah, poisonous mushrooms. It's too bad you can't, like, make poison to tip your arrows in. That'd be pretty cool. I'm also going the wrong way. Oh, I hear something nasty. Just keep moving, just keep moving. course, they made, like, the new monsters sound like clickers, right? So this is one of the areas I identified that has plentiful mushrooms, and confirmed, it looks pretty nice. And then I spotted the copper here. So I think I'll do is I'll start digging down here. Oh, what the hell? Is it snowing? Why did it... Well, whatever. Ghosts. Spoopy ghosts. So now, yeah. Updating mine copper. So we've got cracked conglomerate down here. And hopefully, I'll find copper pretty quick. Kath does mine for mod for this game. In fact, the top trending mod right now is his, allowing you to sort multiple crates or multiple boxes together. All right, I think what I'm going to do, because I don't want stuff attacking me from behind, is to wall up the way in. Because it's illuminated in here, so they're not going to spawn on me. But it sounds like they're outside, and I kind of don't want to do combat while I mine. It's also... Oh, there we go. It's medium quality, which is certainly better than poor. I think the monsters aren't outside. They're probably in caves, like down here with me. So I also need to make sure not to be mining straight down, because mining straight down would be pretty fatal. If they are indeed down here. But now we have a lot more copper. So these chunks you can hammer for more copper. So you need you mine it out and then you hammer it and you end up with copper bits. There's also malachite, which is a different type of copper. It yields copper, but you can also get malachite chunks. So, you know, there's this kind of copper and malachite copper, native copper and malachite, but they're basically one and the same. Just green or orange. It's really the only differing factors. And then the stone that I'm getting can be turned into cobblestone too, with a little bit of clay. So I can have conglomerate cobblestones from this quarry. This is exciting because all of this copper can be then turned into ingots, into more tools like shears so I can get sticks, saws so I can get boards and doors and all that lovely stuff, anvil so that I can forge more stuff, pro pick so I can search for tin. I may have exhausted this node though. So what I'll do is I'll, oh, this is granite and this is conglomerate. What I'll do is just mine a little bit more out to make sure I didn't leave any behind. But even if this was all the copper that there was here, this is easily enough copper for a pro pick and a spare pick and probably some other stuff too. Maybe even for an anvil, I'm not sure. 20, we'll see. I'm gonna venture a guess and say it's pretty exhausted now. This is a little on the small side. If I had a pro pick, I could do a local search to know for sure. You know, I'll go one lower. See if there's a vein below me? I don't think there would be. Okay. Yep, I think this is it, but this is fine. I'm going to carry the torches in my offhand so I can see what the hell I'm doing. It sounds like I have some fun company just outside. I'm definitely not hanging out to figure that out. I'll mark down the copper vein that I just mined out as potentially exhausted later. I don't want to stop to do that now. Although we are getting daybreak. So the enemies spawn in the darkness and thrive in the darkness, and mostly go away in the light. Hey, piggies. Why is that pig making drifter noises? So once exposed to daylight, they will, like, flee. I have noticed that the bow dudes don't really flee in the daylight. We have noticed that firsthand on the stream here, where they just kind of keep shooting me and they don't really care that it's light out, but whatever. They play by different rules, that's fine. All right. I'll keep the pick on. So, let's see what we got. We have 84 units of copper. So that's not enough for an anvil, but that is certainly enough for ingots or for a pro pick. So in this case, I think what is probably prudent is to save it, to save up for an anvil, because everything that I want, I could do clay molds. Like I could do a mold for a pro pick. But I think it makes more sense to just save up for the anvil, make a pro pick out of the ingot on the anvil, and then to get my my pro pick that way. So let's go back out with the very little remaining time I have, and oh, you know what? I think these are done. Yeah, nice. I was like, you know what I don't hear is the kiln going. That's awesome. Because eventually I'm gonna, these will obviously be for food storage, but for now, very handy for just like tools and everything else that I don't want laying on the ground. No, there. All right, we have a little bit of daylight. I don't have a pro pick node, no. So, search for more local copper. And if you're wondering how much copper I ended up getting, I will show you. I have 420 units of copper, so I have a little less than half of what I would need for the anvil. And the anvil alone isn't all that helpful. I would really need more like 1100 copper. Actually, I'll just delete it. I don't really need to mark it as exhausted. So, I am hoping to just magically happen upon more copper laid bare at my feet so that I can grab more, but I think the chances of that is pretty slim for the remainder of my time, but I'm going to go for it anyway. It's a good use of my time, even if I think the chances of finding copper is slim. Or hunt. I could sneak better. Where'd my first spear go? So one of the reasons, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that I'm not using a bow. Chief amongst them, I don't have the materials. It needs leather. But it's way easier to recover thrown spears, because they're big, than arrows, which are much harder to spot. And spear's kind of easy to spot, even though it took me a second. Also, not a terrible idea to, if there's fully grown crops, because I'm in my own stomping ground and I'm likely to double back this way again, I can wait for the wild crops to grow a little bit more. But if I see fully grown stuff like, oh, that flax is 8 or 9, I would harvest it for full yield. And I guess it wouldn't be terrible to start marking it down so as to solve some of my future hunger. So I'll start marking the wild stuff that isn't fully grown, so I can check back on it later. Now, I did read the tip that was shared in chat that I can till underneath it to help it grow, which is a neat trick I hadn't heard before. Yeah, I like the bow too. It also heavily depends on the armor that you're wearing. Armor will have accuracy malices, so heavy armor makes you miss just a lot. I'll just mark this. I won't write it down. I'll just do grain or vegetable. So there is a bit of a penalty trying to use range combat when you're heavily armored. I probably shouldn't be doing this. This is probably a waste of my time. There's so many vegetables everywhere. All right, back to copper with my little remaining time. I keep finding fully grown turnips, though. Don't mind that. Turnip stew is my jam. Okay, I will venture home. I'm still gonna chalk it up as a success. You know, I got copper tools. I haven't died yet. I'm sure that will happen. You know, it doesn't take much to die. Like, just being ganked once by a wolf. So easy to do in this game, especially when you're unarmored, which I currently am. I'm running around in terribly tattered clothing that offers no protection at all. 'Cause that's all I have, right? Yeah, so far so good. Ooh, a vessel. What kind of vessel? Farming vessel. It was more cabbage seeds and cattails. Not bad. Ooh, hang on. Hang on. Ha ha! I'll celebrate with some ripe fruit. It seems to be a big node because I found a chunk over here and I found a chunk over there, indicating that it's wide. It's a wide node. Or two nodes, probably a wide node. I'm going to take a look, see if there's other nuggets around. See how big it is. And then I'll start digging. So yeah, I'm going to go a little over time. Just dig this out. I don't see any other pieces, so let's start digging. Also, what's really important, it's poor. It's poor, but I think it's a large node of poor copper. Just because of how far apart the nuggets I found for it were. Or it could be 2 nodes. I don't know. It's probably not, though. I need to make room. I'll eat 1 flex screen. This was a crystal. A crystallized chunk of native copper, so it didn't stack with the other stuff. It's like a higher yield chunk. A one-off. If it is 2 nodes, the other one could be higher, true. I don't think it is 2 nodes, though. I think it's just one larger poor node, which is fine, you know? Poor is totally, it's not a problem. If it's enough poor copper to get me an anvil, to get me a pro pick, whatever, you know? Because the first node I found was honestly very small. As far as typically what I find. I usually get, I would say, well, it wasn't that small, but I usually get somewhere between 35 to 45 chunks of whatever it is in a surface node. And the last one gave me, what, 21? I already have 23. So this node is already bigger than the last one. Granted, the quality is lower, but the node is bigger. And I think the node goes further this way because I found another bit this direction. You know what? It might be 2 nodes. Because there doesn't seem to be any copper in between. We should be getting close to the second node. Maybe it will be bountiful. Who knows? I just gotta know, you know? I don't want to put you on cliffhanger. I probably don't have enough for an anvil. Because the quality of this one is lower, and I have just about the same amount, so I probably have about 800. Medium. Okay, so it was 2 nodes. And we're in a second node now. I don't have room for the granite. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep the granite so I can make cobblestone. I'm gonna drop one of my spears. Yeah. Wrong tool. Hey, Splendid. Thank you for the raid. Even if it is a solo raid. How's it going today? Let me give you a shout out. I'm about to actually end my stream, so you come at an awkward time, but pleasure to have you here. You were also playing Vintage Story? What were you up to today in your run? This is my I've played this before, but this is my first stream and of this specific series. And I've just entered the Copper Age and found my second node of copper. Chopping copper out of the mountain with an axe sounds awesome. Sounds kind of like Uber Dwarf or something, I don't know. Sounds pretty metal, like a dwarf would do it that way. Oh, I think I'm getting close to a cave, because it is daytime outside. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. and I hear monster noises. So this copper vein might lead to a cave system, which actually could be pretty cool, because if there's copper here, maybe the cave system has more copper. I definitely have enough for a an anvil by now, though. For sure. Let's see if I don't think I've exhausted this node though yet. But it is very hard to check without a prospecting pick. prospecting pick will change my strategy considerably so that I can... So it's hard to explain the prospecting pick without one, but there's two ways to use a prospecting pick. One is to probe stone in 3 different spots that are like 4 spots apart from one another, and it will give you the rough estimate of the quality of the area for mining. So we'll say like, oh, this area has, I think this, there might be a few more pieces left, but I'm gonna count this as exhausted. So we'll say like in this area, you will have X% chance to find, you know, copper or tin, or rather copper, cassiterite, etc., etc. And then the other mode of the prospecting pick will tell you if there's anything around you within 6 tiles. So if I used a pro pick in this area for its local search, it would say, oh, there's only, you know, there's a medium amount of copper around you, or trace amount of copper around you, or no more copper around you, and allows you to know if you've fully exhausted an area yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here. Potential cave. Because I don't know if it's exhausted, and it might also lead to a cave system. It kind of sounded like it could. So it probably doesn't have too much more copper left, I'd imagine, but it could lead to a cave system with more copper in it. And then if I'm eager for even more copper, I can always go back to the gravel fields to the southwest, where there was oodles of it stacked up high, and grab copper back down that way. But yeah, copper is not as rare or elusive as it seemed at first. I just had a hard time spotting it just by chance. You walk around with your eyes to the ground long enough, and you'll find it. And I'm sure there's even more copper closer to the base than the node I just tapped. So this is what, a new peat field? I don't think I have this one. Oh no, it's marked. Never mind. So the next big thing to find, in my opinion, would be fire clay. That's the next like technological leap for me, is to get fire clay and tin. Fire clay and tin is the big ones. But before I wrap up the stream, let's go count my copper so that we know. I'm pretty sure, if I was to guess, that we have enough to make an anvil for next stream, if there is to be a next stream. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. So the sum total is over 1100, which is exactly what I said I wanted. I wanted 1100 at least, because 1100 gives me the anvil and 2 ingots. Meaning the ingots can become a prospecting pick and a saw. So I will leave 1100 copper in there for future me to play with. But this, my friends, is where I am going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Frostlands, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 7th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream of mine. Farewell, my fellow Vintage Story Serifs.